Good Friday morning to you. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Lauren Lemanchek. Today marks day 31 of the government shutdown, and neither chamber of Congress is in session. That means the shutdown will go into next week, while federal funds for critical food programs are ending tomorrow. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington, D.C.
President Trump overnight throwing a major curveball into the shutdown showdown, calling on Republicans to go for the nuclear option, to get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. Doing that would let GOP members pass a short-term funding bill to reopen the government with a simple 50-vote majority instead of the 60 needed now. The Senate's top Republican has publicly opposed changing the filibuster, instead urging more Democrats to cross over and back the bill.
We have a few already. We need 5 Democrats with a backbone.
Democratic leadership holding firm on restoring health care provisions.
The American people understand that there's a Republican health care crisis.
That amid a deepening food insecurity crisis. The emergency response organization World Central Kitchen now in D.C. helping feed federal workers who are missing paychecks.
I wish people in power understood that we are much closer to poverty than a lot of folks outside of D.C. Perhaps don't understand or don't know.
And now SNAP food assistance is set to expire on Saturday, ripping a lifeline away from low-income Americans. Democrats pushing for a standalone bill using contingency funds to extend those benefits.
No president has ever stopped these funds from flowing in a shutdown.
Republicans rejecting blame, accusing Democrats of a political bid
to insulate themselves from the consequences of their own actions.
Now, as the consequences grow, one Republican senator proposing a constitutional amendment to stop lawmakers' pay while the shutdown drags on. Many states are trying to use state funds to bridge the gap on food assistance. California deployed its National Guard to help at food banks, and 25 states filed a lawsuit that would force the federal government to use emergency funds to keep SNAP running. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
This morning, nearly 500,000 Minnesota families are worried about getting food on the table. Their SNAP benefits expire in less than 24 hours. Right now, several organizations are stepping up to help those in need. That includes Alight, who's hosting a gift card donation drive at their hub in North Minneapolis. Audrey Russo has more.
Yeah, they call it reverse trick-or-treating. You show up with a grocery store gift card to any store, any amount, and you donate it to a family in need. They've got a $20,000 goal today, and you can see just in the last hour they got another $100, but we still have a long way to go. And of course, these are all going to the 400 refugee families here in Minnesota who rely on SNAP benefits for meals. Now, they're among the roughly 440,000 Minnesotans who use these benefits, and that equates to about 8% of the population. Now, tomorrow, those families will not receive SNAP for the first time in recent history because of the government shutdown. Lawyers in Minnesota and more than 20 other states argued before a judge yesterday, saying that the USDA is legally required to use their emergency funds to cover SNAP. Now, attorneys from the agency say there's not enough money to do that. Meanwhile, state lawmakers here in Minnesota blame the shutdown on each other's party.
My absolute disappointment that our own U.S. senators continue to vote against opening our government.
The Senate Republicans in the federal Senate could end the shutdown. They could change the rules of the Senate and end the shutdown. They have the power to do that. The thing they can't do is force Democrats to vote for a bill that doesn't include a priority of theirs.
Now, back out here live at Alight, you can donate any amount. There's a $50 gift card in here, and this is actually a pretty critical number because Alight says $50 can feed a family for an entire week. That is really the goal here. So again, you can drop off one of these gift cards between 8 and 12 today. And again, it's at Alight's hub in Minneapolis. Back to you.
If you're a family who needs help, here are some places you can go. Tomorrow, Shakopee Bowl says your kids can eat free at their restaurant. They say there's no purchase necessary and no questions asked. Also, beginning Monday morning from 7 to 9, Hope Breakfast Bar in St. Paul will provide pancake meals to your family every day for free. And if you have SNAP, you can get a 10% discount at Colonial Market, and your kids will get free meals. Right now, Minneapolis police are searching for a suspect after a man was shot outside his workplace while trying to stop a suspected thief. It happened around 7 yesterday morning near the intersection of East 26th Street and 32nd Avenue South in the Seward neighborhood. Police Chief Brian O'Hara says the victim noticed someone rifling through the inside of his car outside of his work. The car did not belong to the victim, but the man still went out and confronted the suspect. Investigators say that's when things took a turn for the worse, and the man in his 40s was shot and died at the scene.
It appears there was a brief struggle between the victim and a suspect. During that struggle, the victim was shot. About 20 minutes later, the victim was found by a coworker who then called 911.
This morning, a Princeton man was found guilty in the shooting of 5 Benton County officers appearing in court for his sentencing. It was 2 years ago. Sherburne County Drug Task Force officers were outside Carl Holmberg's home to execute a search warrant. That's when prosecutors say he started shooting. All the officers survived. A few months ago, Holmberg was found guilty on 15 criminal charges, including 7 counts of attempted first-degree murder of a police officer. Right now, closing statements begin in the retrial of the alleged mastermind in the kidnapping and murder of a Minneapolis realtor, Monique Bao. The defense rested their case after Ligon Wiggins took the stand. Wiggins is accused of hiring 2 men and his former girlfriend to lure Bao to a fake home showing where she was tortured and killed. Wiggins denied any involvement in the crime. He did admit to being heavily involved in drug activity, supplying several drug dealers with drugs for them to sell. A woman left with a traumatic brain injury after being hit by an e-bike has already changed the laws in Hastings. Well, now she's pushing for a statewide reclassification of certain e-bikes. Janet Stotko is learning to live with a traumatic brain injury and has lost her sense of taste and smell as a result of getting hit by an e-bike while walking on a sidewalk. After hearing her story, the Hastings City Council changed their ordinance and banned e-bikes on sidewalks. Now she hopes that can change across the state.
If I can help one person, to not have to go through what I have gone through and what I will go through the rest of my life, I would do anything. And that is really the objective of sharing my story and working with Tom to get some legislation passed.
There are advocacy groups who argue the child who hit Stotko was riding doesn't fall into any classification. Happening right now, Hennepin Avenue in Minneapolis is reopening to traffic. The area between West Lake Street and Douglas Avenue has been under construction for 2 long years, but not anymore. The city says the street will welcome 2-way traffic and bike lanes and sidewalks will be fully opened starting today. Well, we have some sad news this morning. Minnesota's beloved Blue Ribbon baker, Marjorie Johnson, has died at the age of 106. Not only did she live an incredible life, she also meant a lot to us here at KARE 11. Her dear friend Belinda Jensen shares this tribute.
Marjorie Johnson, everyone.
Our friendship started over a cookie recipe 30 years ago at the Minnesota State Fair. And for many, she was must-watch TV. Or if you were lucky enough, you could even run into her
get your autograph?
as she entered her prize item.
And I got a blue ribbon on my raisin bread, on my cinnamon rolls, on my oatmeal muffins, on my crackers.
Ribbons and so many ribbons. And it is amazing that she didn't even start entering until she was in her 50s after her career and raising her 3 kids.
So I can go to Anoka, and my goodness, I won a total of 54 ribbons, 49 ribbons, and then 5 sweepstakes, yeah.
Just this year.
Yeah.
Over 3,000 ribbons, even to this year on her 106th birthday month.
And I entered this, and I got the blue ribbon plus the sweepstake on. It's really, really good.
Minnesota was blessed by her, but her stardom eventually spread to the whole country.
My mother used to put a pie on the windowsill. Do you do that?
No, one time when I put a pie aside and then a dog came by and ate it. We're at the X Games and I'm going to find out what it's all about.
But all roads always led home to her sweet family.
And there's Lee.
Right, yeah, right, yeah.
How long were you married?
We were married 67 wonderful years. Every year was the happiest of my life. Really, I got the most wonderful husband in the whole world, yeah.
For Marjorie, crossing over the century mark in 2019 was quite a celebration.
The lady of the hour. The Blue Ribbon Baker and Minnesota's most famous baker.
Goodness, look at that. Thank you, Governor. This is here. And look at this. Oh my gosh, look at this.
We so appreciate you. We so love the fact that we got to celebrate with you in your month of your 100th birthday.
I know.
And we will see you in 2020.
I know. I see you every state fair and every Christmas.
I know.
We've
so
been doing
appreciate
it for years and years and years.
A long time, and we're blessed by that. All right, we'll be right back with more Carol.
A life well lived, certainly. Well, now let's turn to some lighter news. Halloween is officially here, and there's plenty of spooky fun happening all around the Twin Cities this weekend. Anoka did its Halloween Grand Day Parade last weekend. But if you do find yourself out there, maybe after putting the kids to bed, the bar Serums is having its annual Halloween party starting at 9. Also at 3 p.m. today, you can stop at the Huntington Bank Rotunda at the Mall of America for a treat bag for Malloween. Then roam the mall for other trick-or-treat destinations. And remember, it's also Dia de los Muertos this weekend. Today, the Global Market from 5 to 7 will be having a family-friendly event with trick-or-treat bag decorating, face painting, and a balloon artist, too. You can also trick-or-treat through the market, and then tomorrow, they'll have a community celebration from 11 to 3. Get out and enjoy it. Happy Halloween, everyone. Stick with us. More news and weather is coming up after the break.